Hi everyone, in this video I want to show you one of my absolute favorite games. It's a game played by Georg Meier against the very young player Meier-Parkhov, and Georg Meier, rated over 2600, just shows how to crush someone in under 15 moves. And really, focus on the tactics. You will see a superb understanding of tactical ideas and calculation. So I wish you a lot of fun with this video. White plays first e4, black plays e6, inviting white to play the French defense after d4, d5. But white has other plans. He plays d3, and he's opting for a King's Indian setup with knight d2, knight gf3, g3, and bishop g2. So black has a choice here. He can play moves like c5 or b6 or the main line d5. And now white usually plays knight to d2 to avoid the exchange of queens, because if white played knight f3, then black would be able to exchange the queens, and this isn't in the interest of white. So white plays knight d2, avoiding the exchange of queens. Knight f6 follows, knight gf3, and usually what black does here is playing c5. But there is a very tricky line here, and it's b6. And it's tricky because if white just follows his usual plan with g3, then black plays bishop b7 and is putting pressure along the diagonal against the h1 rook and the e4 pawn. So not very pleasant. So let's go back. Therefore, strong players here, like Georg Meier, play c3. And we will see the idea in one moment. So for illustration, let's assume that black played c5, then white would play e5. And now white has more space on the king's side, so white will try to attack on the king's side. d4 follows, and just to show you what happens if black plays not carefully, knight c6, bishop b5, bishop b7, h4. The reason is that the rook feels the best on the h file. And the reason is that there might be some attack against the castled black king. So let's see what happens after a6, bishop d3, bishop e7, and now rook h3. The white king also feels safe on f1 or walking to g1. Takes only 2 moves, and the position is rather closed. So if black decided to castle here, there would be bishop takes h7 check, the typical Greek gift sacrifice. And after king takes h7, there is this knight g5 move, also typical for the Greek gift sacrifice. And black has a choice between moving the king, which is bad, or taking the knight, which is also bad. Both moves are losing, so let's take a look at bishop takes g5, then follows h takes g5 check with the rook, king g6, queen h5 check, king f5, and rook f3 mate. In the case of, let's say, king h6, there is simply knight f1, and suddenly, as you can see, there are some discovery attacks against the king and the queen, which is very unpleasant. So the entire line does not work for black. But let's see how black could make it work. And go back. So the idea here of black is to keep this knight on b8, and we will see the reason in one moment. Let's say black goes for bishop to e7, white goes for bishop d3. Now comes the moment, bishop a6. Black is trying to exchange the very strong bishop, which was sacrificed on h7 just a few moments ago, if you remember. So black recognizes the bishop is too strong, let's exchange it and get a rather passive knight on a7, but we can regroup it, and in the worst case it will go back to b8 and then to c6. And this is the usual plan of black. So let's go back. Instead, Parkhov played bishop to e7, then followed e5, knight f to d7. So we have a very similar setup, d4, and now black castled immediately. And this is not a good move, probably. He should play c5 and transpose into the variations we've just mentioned. And by the way, if white wants to play creatively, he might play bishop b5 instead of bishop d3. The reason is that after bishop a6, white has this a4 move. This setup has been played by a few strong players with white and with black, so the position should be fine for both sides. Maybe white has a slight advantage because of the nicer coordination of the minor pieces. But as mentioned, Parkhov castled, the black player. Then came h4, very aggressive by Georg Meier. Then f6. And now white played bishop to d3, c5. And now came an amazing sacrifice. Meier here played knight to g5. And in the previous variations which we had seen, the bishop could take on g5. But here even the pawn can take on g5. So pawn takes g5, played in the game. And now bishop takes h7 check, the most precise move. King takes h7. And now h takes g5, which is a check. King to g8. And now the standard sacrifice, rook h8 check. King takes h8, queen h5 check, king g8, and Parkhov resigned after the next move, g6, because wherever the rook moves to make space for the king on f8, white will just check on h7, and after king f8, white will have this beautiful checkmate on h8. So as you can see, white had a few lines where he could sacrifice the bishop on h7, and unfortunately the black player ran into one of these lines. So generally speaking, if you get a similar position to this, then you should really watch out for knight g5 and bishop takes h7. I hope you appreciated this beautiful game by Georg Meier and the video. I would be very happy if you leave a like, and if you want to see more of such videos, feel free to subscribe. See you.